Welcome everyone, you're listening to and perhaps watching Not Sauce for Work. I am Peace Del Rees and I am joined as always by Terry Tam.
Confused, I'm hearing noises. What the fuck are you doing, Eagle?
What am I doing?
I'm hearing like static noises all of a sudden.
I also heard some static noises, Eagle.
I will check, but I mean it should be fine. Question mark?
Okay, it's stopped now. No.
Okay, I'll figure it out. Stand by.
we got a great show today, Terry. We're going to be talking to Renaud St-Laurent. He's a good friend of ours, and he got a job working for Radio-Canada doing the Olympics in French for the 3-on-3 basketball competition. So I'm very excited for him. I'm very excited for that opportunity, and excited to hear him call it because he's a really interesting guy. He's a fun guy. He's really laid back. Really fits our style here with Hot Sauce Sports. So looking forward to having that conversation with him.
He's the Kawhi Leonard of 3-on-3 basketball commentating, play-by-play. He's a fun guy. He's a fun guy.
He's a fun guy. That's fair. Yeah. So on top of that, we have some news to get to. We did a pre-draft thing. We haven't really spoken since the draft. We're not going to get too heavy into it, but there are some topics that are still, of course, on everyone's mind. And of course, the typical nonsense that happens every week because the internet never lets us down. There's always stuff for us to talk about. So I started the one place where we can't start the show without going anywhere else. It is Cinco de Mayo. And I wanted to know if you guys have had any fun/terrible things happen to you in and about Cinco de Mayo. It might have been on this day. It might just have been at a Carlos and Pepe's. Since I always spring these topics on you guys and never give you advance warning, I'll start first. I got two that I can remember off the top of my head. This was like one of the first things that happened during the pandemic lockdown the first time around when we were all at home. We couldn't go out. Bars were all closed. And we were all doing the 5 à 7, the happy hour Zoom calls. So we were doing it with all of our all of our close friends and family. We didn't get through everyone. We were like guerrilla calling, like whoever. Okay, call this person, call this person, call this person. By the fourth one, it was about 4 p.m. I had vomited and fallen asleep on the couch.
How do you remember things that happen on a date that doesn't matter? Like Cinco de Mayo means nothing for us. Like look at us.
Yeah. My wife is also not from this country.
Oh, that's true. She's Colombian, but isn't it a Mexican thing?
It is, but she has Mexican friends as well.
Okay, there you go.
So for me, one of my favorite TV shows is Arrested Development.
I know where you're going.
They actually have a spoof on this because the family is essentially the super rich family where they have all their helpers essentially are Hispanic and that they take the day off essentially on Cinco de Mayo to go celebrate and everything. So what they decided to do was essentially create a new holiday the day before called Cinco de Cuatro, so essentially May 4th, where they throw a big party on that day the night before, so everyone's too hungover the next day to actually celebrate, and everyone just goes back to work and pretends that day is nothing. And it works. Cinco de Cuatro becomes the new holiday, essentially. So I've been celebrating that for a while.
I love how it's Cinco de Cuatro. It's not Cuatro de Mayo.
Exactly.
Yeah, Cinco de Cuatro.
5 of the 4.
But it still works, though, right? Because May is the 5th month.
I have another story. And this is what I'm... See, Terry, you have to learn how to do this. See, I'm pretending this happened on Cinco de Mayo. It just happened at a Mexican restaurant. I'm just going by theme and pretending it happened on the day I'm talking about. So there's one time on Cinco de Mayo, we were at... I don't even think it's still open, so I'm going to go ahead and say the name of the restaurant as is. It was Mexicali Rosa. It was not particularly good, but we used to go there because it was cheap and alcohol was also very cheap. And one of my buddies was sitting at the end of one of those really long, like the benches, but at the end of the restaurant where you have like 12 people that can sit on one end of
a banquet.
Yeah, like a banquet style, exactly. So he's sitting at the end, and like he gets up and he's like,
nope,
like just no. And I'm like, hey, bro, what's up, man? What do you need? He's like, you want me to pass you the quesadillas or? And then he just gets the half full what's it called? The thing you pour beer out of. Why can't I remember the name?
A pitcher?
The pitcher. That's it.
That's how long it's been.
That's how long it's been since I've been to a bar. So he gets the half full pitcher and vomits directly into it. And little did I know, the 4 people in that proximity, including myself, within the next 3 years would all vomit into a pitcher before the next 3 years were done.
So my only Cinco de Mayo experience was I was in Mexico actually. Was it Cinco de Mayo? I don't know.
But let's pretend it was.
Let's pretend it was.
Cinco de Mayo, and you were in Mexico.
So my friends grew up I have 2 friends that grew up here, but they moved to Arizona when they were 14. So I'm still good friends with them, 2 of my best friends. And we went to Arizona to see them, and we drove to Mexico from there. On the way there, we rented a condo for 2 nights. It's called Puerto Peñasco. It's it's a nice beach, whatever. It's a decent place. It's where a lot of Arizona kids just go and like a week. It's like a Tremblant for them. It's 4 hours away. And so we drove there. Actually, it was probably a little bit more. Anyway, we drove there. It was fine. On the way back, the last night, we go to this bar, but it's just an outdoor club kind of thing. So you're walking on sand, and we get hammered, absolutely plastered. We eat dollar tacos out of this. The water was black.
Nice. That's how you know it's good.
At the taco stand, it was black, but it was so fucking good. It didn't hit me. It hit one of my buddies. It didn't hit me. The next day, we're driving home. We hit a speed bump that night we hit a speed bump really fast, and nothing happened. On the way home the next day, we realized that it had punctured. What did it puncture? The cooler system. So the car was overheating, so we got stranded in the desert for 4 hours. So we took off our shirts. We're throwing footballs around in the desert. Pickup truck comes, puts us on the flatbed. We're in the car sleeping. He's driving us around that little village, and he's honking, and everybody's just pointing and laughing at us. Look at the white guys. They're just laughing at us. And we're just passed out in the car because we're still hungover. We stop at the border, at the Arizona border, waiting for an American truck to come get us in the car. 6 hours we waited there. And then we get stuck in this fucking pickup truck. My friends, they all run to the back. So I'm stuck in the front with this guy, this massive guy. He must have been 400 pounds, okay? The tow truck driver. He must have, and he had a gun on his right side, and I'm sitting on his right side. I'm literally, for 6 hours, I'm glued to the window because I was shit scared that I was going to die. A little Canadian boy, 18 years old, don't know what the fuck is going on. I see a gun for the first time in my life. I was like, what the? Well, not first time, but it was that close to me, and I was just fucking shitting my pants. But the guy ended up being a super nice guy. So that's my Cinco de Mayo story. Happened on a 3-day span.
There's
it was Cinco de Three, Cinco de Cuatro, and Cinco de Mayo.
There we go.
Today's, by the way, is 3.
No, I'm saying 3 because it's me.
It's Cinco de Tree, man.
Cinco de Tree.
There's nothing more alarming than when you're in Arizona and you see how many people just freely walk around with firearms. As a Canadian, it's an absolute culture shock, right? It's just every second person will have one strapped to their belt.
But the guacamole, you can't compare it. So I mean,
that's true. It's worth it. It's worth it for the guac.
Also, you can sit in the back of a pickup truck over there. It's legal. There's that
that's
plus.
How they get to work, right?
No. I think it's time for the news. Let's do the news. The news. Terry, it's the news.
Is it now?
I love how far away I have to get, especially with this mic, because I have no headset. I have no feedback as to how loud it actually is.
Eagle, can you pick up his headset so you can bring it to his house?
I have the headset.
I prepared it for him. It's ready to grab. He literally.
It's a wire. I forget on the week. I remember it every time that I walk into my house on Wednesday at 6:55 or whenever it is, or we're doing the show at 6:30. It's 6:24 when I walk into my house. That's when I remember it. But yeah, it's been a crazy few days if you're a Green Bay Packers fan, isn't it, Eagle?
Yeah, it's been interesting to say the least.
So let's go down the timeline. Shortly before the draft, the news breaks that Aaron Rodgers is deeply unhappy, more so than we even thought. we then start hearing that he has no intention of playing for the team this year, and Mark Schlereth reported that a deal with the Broncos was all but done. We then hear from the Packers that
Didn't Mark Schlereth play for the Broncos?
he plays for the Broncos. He works there in like local radio or
Inside
something.
info, huh?
An ESPN local affiliate or Fox local affiliate. I don't remember which one, but he works for a local radio station down there. He reported that, and we assume like he's probably got sources inside the Broncos, right? Because your point, Terry, he played there and he works in the market.
2 Super Bowls.
Packers say nope, that's not a thing. We're not trading We're not trading Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is there at the Kentucky Derby. I love the memes about him being a police officer there to arrest Tom Brady. He's there looking all skinny and shit, and he says something interesting. He says, I regret that information came out. I'm happy with the Packers organization and all the people and the fans and so on. He didn't say, I hate that this was reported and it's not true. He said, I'm disappointed that this information got to the press. So that happens. And then a whole bunch of people saying stuff about him in the media, and it seems more and more apparent that relationship is deeply fractured, and I'm beginning to doubt that he'll actually play for the Packers next season.
Yeah, I think he's done. Sorry, because I think you gotta look at Jordan Love and be like, okay, this guy's our future. And I mean, it's not bad. I mean, he's a first-round pick, and
that you traded up for.
But so I mean,
you had a Hall of Fame quarterback.
When you had a Hall of Fame quarterback, and then that quarterback brought you to the NFC Championship final. So, but then you don't want that guy.
No, you want Jordan Love.
Talk about the dumbest decisions ever. Like people make like you want to raise your kids to make good decisions in life. You can't force them to do anything. You can't force them to be good people. You just want them to make good decisions in life, right?
Yeah.
The entire Green Bay Packers organization, the front office, all of them were terribly raised people because they are making awful decisions. And the awful decision they're making is that they're giving up on Aaron Rodgers, who hasn't skipped a beat. He hasn't lost a step. If anything, he's getting better with age.
In the last 2 seasons, he has 74 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. That's
with one receiver. With one receiver.
One receiver, exactly.
No
and
running
the
game.
Receiver he liked, they cut. Think about that too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And no running game.
Well, they eventually started Aaron Jones, who, like, if you've watched football for 8 seconds, you realize Aaron Jones is by far the most talented running back in that backfield. And, like, if you're a guy like me, you're like, wow, this guy's a steal in fantasy. And then, like, for, like, almost a season and a half, you see him either share the ball with Jamal Williams or straight up be on the bench, and you're pulling your hair. You're like, why? Why is this guy giving the ball 30 times a game? He's a freak athlete, but he had to, like, quote unquote earn his spot. It's nonsense. It's nonsense.
Matt LaFleur is just he's digging himself a grave. Like he's getting to the point where if 2 years this team doesn't make a Super Bowl or win the division both years because the division is fucking brutal, then he's gonna get fired and he's never gonna get a head coaching job ever again.
Well, Eagle, give me his name, but it seems as though Aaron Rodgers' biggest issue is actually with the general manager. When you think about, like, again, of the last 9 drafts, the first round pick for the Packers has been 8 first rounders. Sorry, eight defensive first rounders and 1 quarterback. That's the only offensive player they've drafted in the last 9 years is a quarterback.
You're referring to Brian Gesundheit, whose actual name is Gutkunst.
Sure.
Gutekunst.
I love asking you for names because you can never get them right.
I know. Now, admittedly, our defense was the biggest problem, but the quarterback pick is probably the one that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like this year, for example, we took a cornerback. You know, we can replace Kevin King, who blew God knows how many plays in our conference final game and everything. So fine, there's an argument to be made that our defense needed to get better. But yeah, the quarterback pick is essentially saying we're planning to move on from you at this point, and so I can understand Rodgers' frustration of, well, you're not building the team with me, you're building it against me.
Yeah, I mean it's true. And also, who did they pick in the draft?
No, I never remember his name. Hold on, give me a second.
Wasn't J.C. Horn?
They drafted a corner.
Tyson Campbell,
the center, which I thought, again, you do need to draft
Eric Stokes.
Eric Stokes.
Oh, they drafted Eric Stokes. Okay, yeah, but that's actually not bad. But the thing is that this draft was so deep at DBs that they could have waited the second round, get a
But it
receiver
also
for
isn't
the guy.
about this draft specifically. It's
It's
that
about in general.
like for years and years and years, the second best receiver for the Packers is not a good football player, right? He wouldn't be the second best receiver on any team except for the Dolphins.
Who have they
And
had? They've had that guy
Marcus
Lazar.
Stobling.
They've had Lazar. They had Valdez Dropling, Scantling. They've had Kumara, who they got rid of. Who I'm actually a fan of. I think he's really good.
They had a guy that for years, I remember Dan Lebitard used to call him Fat Number 80. I don't know who it was. It was this fat white guy who looked out of shape while playing in the NFL.
Was it Rodgers?
His name might have actually been Rodgers as well.
Yeah, there was
Richard
a guy.
Rodgers?
There was a guy named Rodgers. He caught that.
I mean,
he
there
caught
was
one of the
Donald
Hail
Driver,
Marys.
but obviously not him.
No, it's not Donald Driver. Donald Driver was sick, and he was more with Favre. I think it's Roger. I think it's Richard Rodgers. He's the guy that caught the ball in the end zone. He was a white guy, but I thought he was a tight end. Actually, now you're telling me he's a receiver. I'm pretty sure it's him. He caught one of those like famous Aaron Rodgers Hail Marys in the end zone. You know.
And don't forget, that wasn't the only fat guy they had. They also had Fat Eddie Lacy, Cheeseburger.
They did have Fat Eddie Lacy.
So and what's interesting is I remember having Mark Murphy, who's the vice president of the Packers. I remember having his football card, and he was a fat safety. I think that's just his jam. Like he likes
just
guys,
likes fat guys.
He likes guys who like play faster than their body type.
There you go. I mean, I'm down for that. But what the worst part about all this is the old guys coming out, like Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw telling Aaron Rodgers like that he's done and he should just retire is probably the second most preposterous thing after Paul Pierce is like smoking weed with strippers going on Instagram Live. Those are the two most preposterous things that have happened in the year 2021. Like, I'm not even lying. Like,
including an assault on the U.S. Capitol.
Exactly.
Preposterous things.
Yeah, 100%. Terry Bradshaw saying that Aaron Rodgers is done is the most preposterous thing that's happened this year. The most.
Well, he also criticized Aaron Rodgers' footwork.
Which is crazy to me because Terry Bradshaw literally all he did was turn around and give the ball to somebody, close his eyes and chuck it to Lynn Swann. Like, Terry Bradshaw he's a great actor. You know what I mean? He's a good actor. Like, that's what I say about Terry Bradshaw. He's an actor. That's what I say about Terry Bradshaw. We need to stop giving these old guys that have no idea what the sport is like today. In all sports, I'm saying this. Mm-hmm. Today, we need to stop giving them a voice. We got rid of Don Cherry. About time. Basketball. I mean, who's left in basketball, really? They're all young guys.
Well, I mean, so like there's the thing about Shaq, but to be honest, Shaq is there more as an entertainer.
It's comedic. Yeah.
No, he's not giving...
Mike Milbury.
Mike Milbury is another doofus. There you go. Barry Melrose, another doofus. I think he got a job back, but you know what I mean? Like,
Booker McFarland is still on TV, but hopefully not for long.
But that's the thing. We need to get rid of Terry Bradshaw, man. Like, guys like Terry Bradshaw. I like Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson actually still knows that he's talking about football. But guys like Terry Bradshaw cannot be on TV anymore. He's not entertaining, and he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And this proves it. He's done. Yeah. Finished. Cooked. Saturday Night Visit.
It just, honestly, like, Terry Bradshaw criticizing what's his name? Criticizing Aaron Rodgers at the quarterback position is like, I don't know. Me criticizing my mechanic. Like, I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything. Like, just anything hands-on, I don't know how to do. Like,
it's true. You know how to put gas.
Like, are you sure that pipe goes there? Like, no, I don't know anything about this. That's what Terry Bradshaw is to the football position. I don't care about the Super Bowls. Go back and watch him. He was not good. Look at the numbers. He was not good. He was good enough to play in an NFL where guys weren't the same level of specialization that they are today.
I agree.
Like, not even Brett Favre. I would have loved if Brett Favre had a lack of awareness to come out and talk about, he should just, be quiet and play, given that Brett Favre held the Packers hostage for 3 seasons. I thought that would have been a funny pivot, but Favre was actually self-aware for 5 seconds, and that was cool to see.
Here's an interesting question, since we're talking about the Brett Favre. Would you, if you're the Jets, trade Zach Wilson for Rodgers, even if you have to give up the next 3 years of first-round picks?
Yes, because you're gonna have him for years. You're gonna look because who cares about the future if you can win now?
Okay,
Can
but you
win
think the
now with
Jets are the Jets one quarterback away from
The
winning
Jets
the Super
aren't the
Bowl?
Broncos. The Jets aren't the 49ers.
Any team,
Exactly.
the only position where you're one player away is the quarterback position. Like no
No,
one's a left tackle away from winning unless you have that quarterback.
no,
Like
it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong because okay, it's a huge piece. I'm not saying that
so,
it's not an
what
important
piece
piece.
are you away with Alex Smith at quarterback? All of them because you don't have the quarterback.
What do you mean?
You cannot win the Super Bowl at this point
Yeah.
with what the NFL is now, with the
Yeah.
level of specialization. You cannot win without a top tier quarterback.
Okay, but I know I agree with that. I agree that I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying is that the Jets.
But
I'm saying that the Jets
are the Jets just missing a quarterback? Aren't they
The
also
Jets-
missing a
missing
defense and
everything.
a receiving core and arguably a
But
running
you
back
don't-
now?
But if they don't have one of these guys who comes around, there's basically the NFL draft is a lie. They tell you there's 3 great quarterbacks every draft. There isn't. There's 3 great quarterbacks a decade. This is your chance to get one for 3 or 4 years. Why not?
I agree
Versus
with
not
you.
knowing if you have one.
I agree with you. But if you're gonna mortgage your future,
Your
Aaron
mortgage
Rod-
it's time that he's there.
Just
Your
listen.
mortgage-
So, but you can't mortgage the time he's there because they have nothing else to offer. It's not like they're the 49ers that are literally one quarterback away from making it to the Super Bowl. It's not like let's say we'll use the Dallas Cowboys. If Dak was there, it's a completely different season. It's not like they're the Buffalo Bills. I mean, with what's his name? I forgot his name already. What's the quarterback?
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen. I was gonna say Joe Allen. So yeah, so if you put Rodgers on the Jets, it doesn't fix their problems. It might patch up a few
It
problems.
absolutely fixes most of the problems. And then
It fixes one problem. The rest of the problem is the
players?
defense.
You don't think you can attract players if you have Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback and a GM who's not incompetent?
I guarantee you they don't get enough players to fill that roster. It's not like they have guys like Gronkowski that are retired. It's not like they have guys like Antonio Brown that are begging to play with Tom Brady.
It's not what the league was. Look at how quickly the Dolphins turned around to become a respectable team, and now people are considering them to be a smart front office. Look how quickly the Chiefs turned around with Patrick Mahomes. Look how quickly what's it called? The Rams went from being a joke to being in the Super Bowl, the most boring Super Bowl of all time. But just to say, like, it's not Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay couldn't make the playoffs with Jameis Winston, and they get a quarterback and they win the Super Bowl in impressive fashion.
It wasn't just the quarterback though. It wasn't just the quarterback. They had the lead leaguer in sacks.
But if you don't have the quarterback, you don't have a chance.
They had the lead leaguer in sacks. They had Mike Evans, Antonio Brown, Scotty Miller came out of fucking nowhere. They had Gronkowski.
And if Jameis Winston's the quarterback, they don't make the playoffs.
They have a D-line. I know.
And if Jameis Winston's the quarterback, they don't make the playoffs.
They don't make the playoffs. I mean, that's not up in the air
Jameis
because
Winston was a first-round pick like Zach Wilson is.
No, I understand this, but you also were talking about Jameis Winston. We're not talking about Zach Wilson. We don't. I'll say this again. The book is not out on Zach Wilson.
Correct, but
on Aaron Rodgers.
My thing is, why would you take uncertain when you have certain?
I'm saying that Aaron Rodgers does not make the playoffs with the Jets roster the way it is right now. The only person that would help them out is if Julian Edelman magically came out of retirement.
I mean, maybe, but I like I said, I think with Zach Wilson,
you just said the most preposterous thing in 2021.
No, I'm saying if what you're saying is true, then Zach Wilson can't make before Aaron Rodgers retires. Zach Wilson won't lead the Jets to the playoffs.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you mortgage the future, if you mortgage your next 3 first-round picks for 1 year, that you're not going to have anybody else. If you trade away your 3 first-round picks,
not 1 year. I'm saying the rest of Rodgers' career, which
exactly.
is
so
3 to 5 years.
If you trade 3 first-round picks, you're losing all that value. That's 1. 2, you can't trade that value to get an asset. So you're done there because if you're going to be trying to get a number 1 receiver, you're going to have to give up a first round pick, and you're not going to have those first round picks.
So basically, Terry, you're saying that this year is a wash. Next year, you have to hope on free agency to help you out, and the year after, and only year 4 of Rodgers, where he's potentially declining at that point, potentially is when you can actually start building your team for like winning at that point. So
exactly.
really, your 5-year duration of Rodgers, you really only get maybe 2 or 3.
Exactly, and I know what Pease is saying, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but if you look at the big picture, it doesn't fix. Jets are the worst fucking team in the league by far. If
you fix that one position, you have a 5-year window where you're sure pretty much you'll get a shot. With Zach Wilson, you don't have that security. in 5 years.
The only straightaway trade for a first round quarterback this year was Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence, if you trade him for Aaron Rodgers right away, if you do that trade, if you take Aaron Rodgers and you implant him in the Jaguars, they win the division. They have a chance at the Super Bowl. That's the only team that drafted a quarterback. Actually,
well, no, San Francisco legitimately offered the 3rd pick.
No, okay, that's true. That's what I'm saying. But I mentioned them before. San Francisco is a team that if you take Aaron Rodgers and implant him right there, they're a Super Bowl contending team on the spot. And that's
I'm not saying
they
I'm not
already
saying
are for that
in
matter.
the first year.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm saying they're a better team with him right away.
100%.
And it allows them to attract free agents in a way that Zach Wilson might not because he looks like he's 9 years old.
And he likes trouble.
As I was watching the draft, it wasn't a night of drinking for me. Instead, I decided to go for a lower calorie option, which hopefully will be sponsored at some point. But Terry, as I was watching the NFL draft,
Speaking of sponsors,
I know it's a hot streak is up on the screen, but we'll get to that in a second. For now, however, it is time for NFL Blitz, where in an altered state of mind, I recorded some thoughts. Terry, I want you to consider these and consider whether or not these are the most important stories in the draft or non-important at all. Those are your only 2 options.
All right, go.
Eagle, is there imaging?
Not right now. There isn't. I mean, there can be.
You had like half an hour to prepare this.
Yeah.
But you didn't.
No.
All right, Hamatun.
I actually think I have an NFL.
I know you have it.
Soundtrack.
It's an asset we already have. I don't understand what the issue is.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Okay, NFL Blitzed. Terry, the first thought I had, Goodell waited a whole year for a hug. Trevor Lawrence stayed at home and made him wait an extra pick.
What do you want me to say? My thoughts on it? The one I was
How
blitzed.
important was that to the draft?
Oh, that was extremely important because the one thing that we know about the NFL is that Roger Goodell's a piece of shit. So the fact that he can't go out there and do the whole show, and it was so funny when when they started booing him. He's like, "Come on!" He's like, I don't know. Does he hear the boos or does he think they're cheering him on? Like, I don't understand. So that's why it was the most important moment of the draft.
There's something in his robot programming that tells him if you cheer on the boos, it'll make you seem funny.
He is such a tool. He is unbelievably probably the biggest tool I've ever seen in my life.
Second thing I came up with, if the New York Jets draft Zach Wilson, he can't be good.
That's 100% true. So this is what I was saying in our live draft is that they should have traded the pick and then traded for the player because anybody they draft sucks, right? But if they trade for the player, then he doesn't suck.
Someone else drafted him. Smart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
the Giants did that with Eli Manning. Eli Manning 2 Super Bowls and Philip Rivers 0. There you go.
There you go.
That's a good point there. Very astute. Yeah. All right, third one. These guys talking about the New York media like it's not an outdated argument from the 1990s. You know when they say like, can he handle the tough media in New York? Like these guys aren't covered 24/7 by everyone all the time.
Also, it's the Jets. It's not like it's the Giants. Like the Giants are covered a lot. The Jets are like more like a New Jersey team, Queens. You know what I mean? Like those are the Jets. You know?
You're only covered so we can make fun of you.
Exactly. Right? But like New York media, I mean, they don't really care about that anymore. I mean, the only media cities that are bad, I think, are Montreal for the Habs. I guess New York football could be up there. Boston is probably the worst. LA Dodgers.
But Terry, like with ESPN being like national and all these sports outlets being national and blogs like us that exist and Barstool, like everyone's covered all the time if you do something bad, right? So like it doesn't matter. Like if
it's not like it's the Yankees.
If Pat Mahomes has a bad game for Kansas City, he's gonna get dragged, right? So
yeah,
that's Kansas City.
It's also not like the Yankees. Like it's not like the Jets is like they're expecting the Jets to lose. So if Zach Wilson sucks, it's like we did it again. You know, it's not. There's nothing there that's concrete that tells me that New York is a bad media city.
When I saw how young Zach Wilson looked, it reminded me of when Connor McDavid got drafted and 3 years later looked like a meth head. Like he looked like so innocent in his draft day, and then just looked so beaten down by playing with the Oilers for so many years.
It's crazy what he looks like now. He looks like a fucking beat up old woman that just shops at Walmart on the weekends.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 4, Jimmy G's pulling the lance out of his back right now.
So I love the argument. Like I love what they say about like Jimmy G. He's like, he's a professional. He shows up to practice and stuff, and it's like. Yeah, well,
Isn't
he's
that
just
all
doing.
their jobs?
Yeah. That's just him doing his
Isn't
job.
that
You
just
know,
going to your job every day?
yeah. And I feel bad for Trey Lance because he's going through a situation where Jimmy G's probably like the best looking guy in the world. And it's like, I can't not like this guy. This guy's so charming. Look at him. He's got nice eyes. He's beautiful. He bangs porn stars. And I feel bad for Trey Lance because he's like, you know what? Just give him the starting job. Like, Trey Lance is going to be the nice guy. He's going to be like, you know what? Just take the starting job. That's the way I see it's going to happen.
Lance hasn't Trey Lance hasn't started a game. I think he's played one game in the last 16 months, and he was playing at Dakota. So like that's a hell of a shift from playing like over a year ago to playing in the NFL for a team like you said, Terry, that's almost Super Bowl ready. So that's going to be interesting as well. Number 5. Also, I put them as letters in the list, but for some reason I'm numbering them now on the show. Number 5. There's no way to not sing along to Sweet Caroline. Roger Goodell should be arrested.
The thing about Roger Goodell is anything he does should be arrested because the guy guarantee has skeletons in his closet.
But dude, every single person, including everyone at home, was singing along to Sweet Caroline, and all he did at the end was came on and said, "That was good." And then announced the next pick. He didn't sing along, didn't clap, didn't tap his toes, didn't give a genuine reaction to one of the most popular drinking songs of all time.
How many sex positions does Roger Goodell know?
Half.
Half.
He knows what he's supposed to do.
Missionary.
Like he studied it. No, but I don't think he realizes there's another person that's involved in missionary.
Yeah.
He's just there. He does what he has to do.
Gets like, I gotta get literally.
All right. Number 6, otherwise known as F. Kings of Leon really nailed the sound of 2008.
When I was watching that, I'm like, what the fuck? Where was the draft? Cleveland? Are they from Cleveland?
I don't think they are.
They get from Tennessee.
Yeah, get a local
Most
band.
bands are from Tennessee, to be fair.
Yeah, get a local band.
They're from Nashville,
band. Yeah, get a band that nobody knows. Get a band like that from the city that you're in. Show some support. Like I like Kings of Leon. I'm a fan.
Don't get me wrong, Terry. I'm a white guy. I obviously like Kings of Leon.
But they play their old shit.
But not only that, like my thing is like how relevant is Kings of Leon right now? Like they're not like superstars. They were good for a moment, but that was kind of it.
Like Sex on Fire was good for a while.
Yeah, 2008 was when that song came out.
Come Around Sundown is a great album, but
it is.
Yeah, that was like what 2010, 2012.
Yeah,
you know exactly. they were like a punk. They were like a punk band before, and they were actually a very good punk band. And then they sold out. They went full commercial.
Well, they liked money like everyone else. So.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Number G. Does Roger Goodell think people want to sit in his chair and that it's a great honor? I couldn't stop laughing. I was like, why is this stupid armchair?
He's like, okay, now you have to sit in that chair. Okay, but I can't. I have sciatic problems. I can't sit in the chair.
No, you must.
Well, you have to. It's the chair I brought from my basement last year. Remember the basement? And he's like, no. Well, I brought it, so like you got to use it. You know, like this is the stupidest conversation ever.
There was one guy. There was one guy from the Jets. There's one guy who was like supporting the Jets who was sitting in the chair and he got up to like hug the draft pick and he was like mauled by security. It was awesome. Like the camera cut away every time, but there was so many angles where the guy was still in the shot. You see security just sort of holding him back and talking to him and pulling him away from the camera side. And finally, Terry, what do you think was worse? CeeDee Lamb's phone snatch from last season or Jalen Waddle's family snub just walking right onto the stage?
Guaranteed CeeDee Lamb.
So the
reason why
I already got the call like 5 minutes before. I already got the call and everybody around me, we already celebrated and I already shared the moment with my family and loved ones. The TV personnel wanted me to, sit back down and try to capture the moment again with the TV, and the call was off schedule. It wasn't on time, so we kind of already celebrated before y'all had seen. They were just waiting for my name to pop up on the screen. It did the memes of it was kind of funny too, though. I laughed at a couple of them.
He seems like a good kid. So the thing is with that is that I believe him, but also like he looked right at everybody coming after him and he just still said fuck it, I'm walking away.
Yeah.
He's like I already did this shit. I'm not doing it again, man. I'm going to the league.
Maybe like Waddle is saying he got the call 5 minutes before. Maybe that's why CeeDee Lamb's girl thought it was okay to go through his phone because he already got the call.
Yeah. But CeeDee Lamb by far is the best one because not only because Jalen Waddle like made it like a group of people kind of look weird. CeeDee Lamb single-handedly ruined this person's life.
Yeah, 100%.
She's done. She's cooked.
She's like the dude who caught that baseball in New York over the like in the outfield. The ball that was in Chicago, my mistake. Yeah, that dude's life ruined. This chick, same thing. So which of these 1 to 8 stories is the most important story of the NFL draft?
It has to be Goodell's chair because
Goodell's
it's the ultimate like, hey, look at me, I'm cool, but we all know you're not. You know, like you're
just
fucking.
Imagine the logistics team setting up the draft, and someone's like, okay, we have to go pick up a chair from Goodell's house and then fly it to Cleveland so we can put it on stage for this stupid gig we're trying to do.
Or knowing Goodell, he's like, I don't want to lose that chair, so can you go buy the same one and wear it out?
It's exactly that.
Yeah,
there's no way that's his actual chair.
100%.
No way.
He paid a guy out of his $42 million check. He gave him $1 million, and he's like, sit in this chair for the rest of the year.
And the worst is, it legitimately looked like Goodell bought that chair off the Sears catalog when Sears still existed. So this guy was going through Facebook Marketplace in random cities looking for a clone of that chair.
Fucking that chair, man. That chair has seen no sexual activity.
Not at all. None. Stainless. Eagle. The game between the Rangers and the Capitals is going on right now. Last I heard, there were 6 fights in the first 8 minutes of the game. Do you have any updates?
It is currently 1-0 for the Washington Capitals. Let me see if I can find the penalty log because it's a lot. Let me tell you that. There's a lot of penalties in this game. Yeah, so there's 6 fights and a line brawl in the first 5 minutes. That's the latest
fucking
update,
right.
Essentially.
Fucking rights. I love it, man. Who's on the ice?
Everyone.
No, give me who was the line that got the penalty? Do you know?
I can go look it up. Let me go look it up for you. I'll find.
Give me the names of the guys that have 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll do.
Anything over 5.
Keep talking. I'll find it.
So Terry, can you give us a bit of background as to why this is happening?
So Tom Wilson, favorite player, dirtiest guy in the league. He probably best looking guy in the league too. You ever see that guy? Like see him?
I saw him skating off, and he's skating off looking like an Adonis.
Like Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Call me. You know what I mean? Like you're a good looking guy. I'm a fan. And I'm a big fan. I think he's a great player. Yeah, he does cross the line. He does teeter on that line.
Strome
and he's
has
a little
5 minutes. Rooney has 15. Di Giuseppe has 5. Blackwell has 5. Buchnevich has 4 right now. Boteto has 5. Smith has 17. So that's on the Rangers. On the Capitals,
more minutes than have been played.
Yeah. Raffle has 5, Eller has 5, Hathaway has 5, Dowd has 5, Wilson has 15, Hagelin has 7, and Chara has 2.
Yeah. Chara only has 2. That's a shame. Yeah.
But he's getting old, he's laid back. Grandpa
but he's still a fucking beast, man. Anyway, so Tom Wilson takes a cheap shot to Buchnevich on the ground. Whatever. He should have got suspended. He should have got suspended. $5,000 fine. But in the middle of the fight, little Panarin, who's smaller than Eagle, jumps on Tom Wilson's back and tries to choke him out and defend his player, which is you're in the right. You're hockey. It's part of the community. It's part of the culture. It is what it is. But Tom Wilson turns around and ragdolls this fucking guy, grabs him by the hair, throws him to the ground. Everybody's freaking out. Everybody's up in arms. And I understand why. Bigger guy, small guy. But Panarin, you're going after the dirtiest guy in the league. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen.
But see, when I saw the clip, and, Terry, you know that I'm not the biggest hockey guy. When I saw the clip, though, that wasn't the part that got me. I was like, okay, well, Panarin got involved, and he got his head caved in. You got to expect that, knowing that you're going after a bigger guy. I thought what Wilson did to the Booch was the bigger deal.
Of course, 100%. And he should have been suspended. Tom Wilson got suspended 20 games last year. Yeah. He should have been. He got suspended another 5 games this year for a legal hit. He should have been suspended for this. 100%.
Here's another tough guy, John Scott, speaking about him having suspension.
And I just finished up doing a great video talking about Tom Wilson, what his suspension should be, how it was a gutless move on his part, throwing around Panarin and punching Buchnevich in the face when he was on the ground in a prone position. Just gutless, terrible hockey. I was saying how much I used to respect Tom Wilson. He plays the game the way I like it to be played. He's physical. He hits. He plays on the edge. That's what I love about him. And I think he crossed the line this time, and then I just get the news that he gets fined $5,000. What on earth is happening with the NHL right now? George Parros completely dropped not only the ball, he dropped everything, dropped his drawers, dropped everything. It was a joke of a fine. And listen, I love this type of hockey. I think we all do. But what Tom did was just, there's no excuse for that. It's insane to me that he only got a $5,000 fine. He's a repeat offender. He's done this time in and time out. I don't know if George has some kind of dog in this race. He wants Washington to win the cup. I honestly don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
I have no words for it. It's insane to me that he gets a $5,000 fine. It really is incredible. What this means, though, is that it's fair game, baby, in any scrum. It's honestly fair game. If you go into a scrum anywhere on the ice and you see a star player, I'm throwing sucker punches. I'm grabbing this guy. I'm twisting ankles. I'm doing whatever I can, because the worst thing that's going to happen to me is a $5,000 suspension. Because I can't see anybody doing more than what Tom Wilson did to Panarin. Honestly, I feel bad for Panarin.
That's a good point.
The guy comes in to help out his teammate just to kind of try to calm things down, and Wilson jumps on his back. I know. Shame on you, NHL. You should have did something to protect the Panarin. And then shame on Wilson, man. You got to know better. Anyways, let me know what you think.
So, John Scott.
I agree with you that his take about, like, there being a giant conspiracy for Washington to win the cup is a bit of a stretch. Given that they're helping them.
This is the same NHL who put a conspiracy in to not invite him to the All-Star game, right? Like, that was a big deal. So I can see why he has, like, put on his tinfoil hat and be like, no, they're out to get me type of thing.
No, I think John Scott was the captain of the All-Star team that year.
Yeah, but we voted him in, and then they were like, yeah, but no, we're not going to count him type of thing. Remember?
But they did. They
had to go back on it because people were going to lose their shit if they didn't.
So no, he's right. He's spot on. He's 100% on, because now it kind of sets a precedent. And it's like, okay, now the star player's coming after me. I can ragdoll him, do whatever I want. I'm only going to get a $5,000 fine. And especially Tom Wilson has a rap sheet. These guys, like, other guys don't have. Like, let's say we use Montreal because it's local, but, like, let's say it's Josh Anderson and he goes up against New York and he ragdolls Panarin. Is he going to get a $5,000 fine, or is he going to get suspended for doing exactly what Wilson did? And that's the part that bothers me.
The worst is they'd probably get the same fine, because fines are collectively bargained, right? So, like,
exactly.
You can suspend for additional punishment, but the fine is predetermined, right?
Yeah,
so you would actually get the same penalty.
It goes up in increments, right? So, but that's the thing.
I don't think that's the case for fines. I think that's only the case for suspensions, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, maybe I could be wrong. But that's the thing with Wilson, is that, yeah, okay, it was a dirty move, I get it, but, like, he's in the scrum, and John Scott said it. If you're in the scrum, you go in there and you fight. And Panarin did. He made a decision, and he lost that decision. And that's the reality. That's the reality of the beast. Should Wilson have gone suspended 20 games for that punch? Absolutely. And I'm saying this as probably the biggest Tom Wilson fan. Legit.
So when we come back, we're going to talk to Renaud St-Laurent about the Olympics, about being tall, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And we're back. Joining us now, and by us, of course, I mean myself and Terry Tam on Not Sauce for Work. Brought to you by Terry.
Hot Streak Fantasy app, probably the best fantasy app. And, it's actually, maybe we should talk to them about doing 3-on-3 basketball for the Olympics. So it's probably the best fantasy app of all time. You can bet live every 3 minutes. You can bet new players, $5. I'm up, man. I'm up big time on this shit. I love it. It's the easiest way to make money. Hot Streak Fantasy app, hotstreak.gg.
I haven't played much, and I'm down, but that's to be expected because I'm a terrible gambler. I'm also not a great broadcaster, but a great broadcaster is, in fact, joining us. Renaud St-Laurent, or as I call him, Big Ren, because the dude is a monster, super tall dude, really eloquent speaker. Love his sports opinions, as always, and just genuinely nice dude. He'll be doing some Olympic coverage, as Terry mentioned, in the 3-on-3 basketball portion of the Olympics in Tokyo. First of all, Renaud, congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, guys. It's a great adventure. You talked about the fact that I'm tall, but I got to say right off the bat, the analyst, the color commenter with me is as tall as me. So we might be the biggest duo in the history of play-by-plays in the sports. 2 6'6" guys in the same booth. It might be the biggest duo ever.
I mean, TNT's got you beat with Shaq and Charles Barkley, though.
True, but they're not doing play-by-play, so
that's
I guess...
true, they're not doing play-by-play.
Good point.
That's
like play-by-play duo of all time.
Yeah.
And also, they're a lot older, so they're probably shrinking now. They might be closer to 6'5",
True
like Renaud's young, he's snappy, you know what I mean? He's going to move up to 6'7" next week.
That's next week. I'm off. Just inject some A-Rod into you, see where that goes.
You can put anything on Wikipedia. We should just change his Wikipedia to 6'7".
Yeah, true.
before we get into the Olympic stuff, just because I see you in the window wearing your Denver Broncos gear, how are you enjoying your new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers?
Oh man, it was a wild ride last Thursday at about 7:30 at night. All the rumors were flying in about Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos. Some people, credible sources, were saying like it's done, it's done. I was shaking in my kitchen. I was unable to do any task. I left the sink open. I was like not in this world. And then we learned that it's not gonna happen. And then about an hour after, Justin Fields is available when we draft at the 9th position, and we pass on him. So I went from Aaron Rodgers to Justin Fields to Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater in 2 hours. It was a wild ride. At the point where we drafted Patrick Surtain, I threw my jersey on the floor, and it's still there almost a week after.
So as a Cowboys fan, I was like waiting for Patrick Surtain to fall right to us, and the Broncos just kind of took him. I was a little shocked with that. I mean, listen, he's a great player, but I thought they would go quarterback too. I mean, I don't know why.
Everyone thought they'd go quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, it was just
Drew Lock was ready for them to take a quarterback.
Yeah. It's
especially
crazy.
with Justin Fields available. I mean, if it was Mac Jones, maybe you could say the argument that you're not sure, but Justin Fields was there, and he has all the traits of an elite. And even if he's a bust, like in 5 years, who knows? Like a bust quarterback will always be worth the risk more than a corner as good as Patrick Surtain is, which I'm sure will like him. But it's a quarterback. It's a quarterback league. But anyway,
I like Drew Lock. Honestly, I was a fan of Drew Lock in college. I was a fan of Drew Lock. I feel he's spunky. You know, he's like a gunslinger. I think he'd be good. I think the thing is, you guys are in an extremely tough division with the Chargers now. Justin Herbert, man, that guy doesn't. It looks like he's not slowing down. That guy is unfreaking real. And obviously, there's the Chiefs, the Raiders, whatever. We can forget about them. They're awful. Any team that Duke supports, just avoid.
I know that's not a good sign because there's nobody in the world who talks more sports with Terry than I do. And Terry was convinced forever that Mitch Trubisky was just misunderstood.
I still am, by the way. I still think Mitch Trubisky is. The book is not out on Trubisky. The book is not out. It's not done. I think he's got some good football left.
It's gone. They've already been. It's the third print on the Trubisky book. It's on the shelves and no one's buying it.
It's Cliff Notes. It's Cliff Notes. It's not an actual. It's short stories. It's not an actual book. It's not a novel. The novel isn't out yet.
Renaud, tell us a bit about your journey, because I know you were doing some photography for the Carabin. Yeah. Tell us a little bit how you went from there to basically calling play-by-play of the Olympics.
Well, the most important part of it was before I arrived at the Carabin, about 2016. I was working for CBC, Radio-Canada, the French version of CBC, for about 10 years at the sports department. I was a director there and a reporter sometimes. And I did some work on TV for a couple of shows, a kids show. I started doing TV with the kid, a sports report on a kids show on the Saturday morning. And after that, I did a couple of stuff for more general shows, but never play-by-play. But I did some camera stuff, but never as a play-by-play announcer. But about 4 months ago, I had the Olympic spleen. You know, I was like, I want to live the Olympic again, which is a great trip. I did it many times, but in the production team. Starting at the Beijing Games in 2008 up to Sochi in 2014. So I had a lot of fun, and I was like, I want to live that again. So I wrote to my old boss. I'm like, if you're ever looking for some people, I have some vacation with the Carabin in the summer. So I'm like, and I just want to live sports. We all want to live sports at this point. We just want to have some actual live event. So, and my boss, Chantal, former boss, wrote me back, and she said, well, we have some opening in the play-by-play booth with the basketball, the 3-on-3 tournament, which is a completely new sports at the Olympics. And there's a couple of good basketball play-by-play announcers, but they were already on the 5-on-5. And she said, we have an opening. Do you want to do it? I'm like, for sure. I'm a former basketball player myself. So I'm like, that's my sports. I don't know about field hockey. Maybe I couldn't have done that, but basketball was right up there. 3x3 is a different game for sure, but it's still the basketball part that I understand. So I'm like, let's go. But I never did any play-by-play in my life, except an NHL 15 tournament at the big video game event, the LAN party of the ETS that's at the Palais des Congrès. I did like an NHL tournament there, and that's the only time I did some play-by-play. And even then, I was alone in my booth screaming about some virtual goals. But it was my first experience, and I got to tell you guys, it was a lot of fun. We did a test, a screen test with Will Archambault, my partner, whom I talked about earlier, was going to do the color analyst, and it was great. It's a really fast-paced sports. It's a shot clock of 12 seconds. So you talked about betting on the fly on a 3-on-3 tournament. You got to be quick on your fingers because it's 12 seconds. It's basically, and it's 12 seconds as soon as you touch the ball on defense. So it's basically pass to get the ball out of the 3-point arc, 2-point arc in this point, and you have like 10 seconds to do something. So it's really, really fast paced, but it's cool. I got to tell you, I fell in love with that sports.
So I can imagine the email that came out, and it's like, hey, you're tall. We have this thing going on.
Exactly. We have another tall guy to match you up, and you're gonna speak about tall guys putting
tall
a
stuff.
ball in the back.
Yeah, because like if my wife or Eagle were calling the game and they're standing next to your partner, like it wouldn't look good, right, in the booth. So they need someone not only match him in voice, not only match him in talent, but match him in height too, and you fit the bill for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, like I played a little bit of basketball. Like you got some play-by-play or reporters sometimes that really suck at the sports they talked about. I played a bit, but I'm like, I played for the Lynx de Douaumont-Petit, and the guy besides me played with Steph Curry at Davidson College.
Davidson,
yeah. I mean,
I didn't know it was Will Archambault that you were doing it with. So when you said the name, I'm like, oh fuck, you played with this.
Yeah. And
with the greatest shooter of all time.
Eagle.
And I'm starstruck because I'm like, this guy has Steph Curry's phone number in his phone. I'm like, can I touch your phone? Can I like?
Ask him if he can get Steph Curry on our show. That would be awesome.
I'll try.
Eagle, you have a question?
Yeah, so what you're saying is Pease and Terry have more broadcast experience than you, but you're going to be on national television doing a basketball game.
Well, sometimes it's about a matter of being at the right place at the right time. We spoke about the Broncos. Last year, there was a wide receiver that was just in the room when all the quarterbacks went down, and he became a quarterback for a game in the NFL, while very good quarterbacks never played a game in the NFL. So I guess at what point it's just sneaking in at the right time.
I'm flattered, Renaud, but realistically, it's because we're too short. We didn't get the email. We weren't on. We didn't make the cut. We're 5'9". You got to be at least 6'4" to ride this ride.
And then my second question: is there any room in production? Because I'm thinking of making a horizontal jump here.
For sure. There's so many people that are hired for the Olympics at CBC and Radio-Canada. It's a very big crew. It's super fun. You get like 2 weeks, and it's going to be the same thing that when it was in Beijing in 2008. So it's at night, during the night. So when you're working there, you basically sleep, eat, go to work, and go back to sleep. It's super fun because it's a cool crew. So for sure, I would recommend to live that experience.
I mean, that's what I do now, so that's not going to change very much.
Yeah, the problem is, Eagle, is that if you're going there, how do I get my laundry back from the laundromat?
Yeah. See, that sounds like a you problem and not a me problem.
It's very much a me problem. That's the issue.
So it's a peace problem. So Eagle, you got to deal with that problem. How are you going to do it from all the way in Japan? It ain't going to work.
Maybe I'll outsource it to my intern.
Who's the intern, Alex?
Yeah.
It's going to be late. It's going to be late.
And it's tough. I did when I was in Sochi in Russia, there was no laundromat, so we had to do the laundry in our bath, in our hotel room. So if you do go to Tokyo, you're going to have a tough time doing the laundry in the bath.
You mean you just cover it in vodka and light it on fire, and that's how you clean it? I mean, that sounds bad to
me. You don't need to cover it. It's already there. You just got to light it on fire, Eagle.
Exactly.
So now with COVID and stuff, are you going to like stay in the Olympic Village? Are you going to be able to go out? Like, what's the deal with that?
We're actually staying in Montreal. We're not.
Oh, okay. You're not going. Okay.
There's like 5 people going to Tokyo. Okay, we're not going to. And even before COVID, the play-by-play announcer that were not in a big time events like athletics or swimming or whatever a big event, they're not going there. So we would have done it, COVID or not, at home, but they send a very, very short crew there. There's like 4 or 5 reporters that goes there. So usually there's like a crew of 20. So it's a small portion for sure. Most of it will be done remotely in Montreal.
I don't know if I'm happy or sad hearing that my taxpayer money doesn't go towards condom use in the Olympic Village. Like only 5 people. I mean, that's a pretty short supply. Unless
they fuck a lot, in which case that would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you find that, Renaud? The ability to call games from a distance, having to deal sometimes, I guess, with lag and not always being able to see things the way you do at the live event. I would imagine, the limited play-by-play I've done, I've only had to do in person, and I already found that was one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do. What's your experience with having to do it from a distance?
It's gonna be tough for sure. Like we did the screen test, and we were like in a big studio with a big TV in front of you, but there's some delay, and in that case, we didn't have the script of the game. So basically, you describe what's thrown in your face as it happens, and it might just be like that during the Olympics. I don't know how much detail we will have, but you like our teacher. We had a teacher that taught us a couple of lessons at the screen test. His name is René Potier. He's a monument. He used for the French Canadians. He did some play-by-play of Hockey Night in Canada in French like 30 years ago. He's done this for many years. So he told us, like, you describe what you see on TV. So if there's, I don't know, a cat running on the court, you describe whatever you see on TV. So you just react. That's where I guess I've done like 25 years of improv show before. That's where I guess it's gonna be coming handy for me doing all these improv shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course, it's not the same thing, but improv is being able to react quickly, and it's kind of the same thing here. You react to what happens. It's just really tough because it's mostly European sports. Serbian are very good, Lithuanian. So it's not the easiest name on earth to be like, Pavlovic, pass to Dramonovic. And it's like, they're really quick. So on a TV screen, you'd rather be there. But COVID, we cannot be there. But there has been a 3-on-3 tournament in Montreal in the spring of 2019, which seems like 1,000 years ago. But it was a great event. And I'll be there for sure once it comes back.
Don't take any advice from Mo Khan when it comes to broadcasting, because Mo likes to fill I'd say 50% of Mo's words are just words he makes up or just terms he makes up that don't really make sense. So if you're going to take advice from any of the FPF guys that you've seen, Mo Khan is not one of them. Pease is probably somebody you should look at. GM is a good one. I was pretty bad, so don't watch me. But yeah, Pease is a good one. So you got to really, the point is joke, fact, joke, fact. Like that's how it works.
That's my life. That's my entire life.
And if you do anything else different, then I mean, you're just not going to get hired again. That's pretty much it. Are they actually going to happen? Is the event actually going to happen? Like I know there was talks about it canceling.
I hope so. I mean, you see right now behind me, I'm doing renovation at my house. I need that money, man. I need the Olympics to happen because they won't finish the walls if they don't happen. And I'm joking, but I mean, I hope so. It's tricky, of course. There won't be any spectators. It's going to be in a weird climate for sure. But I guess there's too much money involved. At this point last year, the games were already postponed. Are they going to wait later? I'm not sure, but from what I heard, and I spoke to Olympians on the Canadian team, they have right now some documents, some briefing about what to do there. So I guess it's getting more and more concrete since if they get the briefing on what to do there. Do I have the answer? Of course not. But I mean, it looks trending toward a yes. But it would be bad. Beside my gig, it would be really bad if they don't happen just because of all the money inserted in that and all these young athletes that are at the peak of their form right now and wishing to participate. It would be bad for them. I would feel for them, but it's out of our control right now. Maybe if they vaccinate all the athletes, there's gonna be a higher chance of happening. We'll see. But right now, the Canadians athletes, they're preparing to do it.
So, well, I know you've become kind of an authority on the Olympics because you did work at Sochi and you're going to be doing play-by-play, like we said, at the Tokyo Olympics for Radio Canada. So definitely do check out Renaud because dude's awesome. Basically, we're just talking today because we're proud of him, we're happy for him, and we definitely do want people to check him out. But we do want to test your knowledge. I'm going to list several sports one after another, and you're going to tell me if this is a real Olympic sport or a fake one.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
so
I gotta do it.
You have the all the bells and whistles ready?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. The first one is dressage.
Dressage. That's not a real Olympic sport.
Dressage is a real Olympic sport. It has to
What the
do
fuck
with
is it?
horses based on the picture I see on the internet. All right. So, Eagle, sound?
I played
Where's the
it.
product? I can't hear it. Okay, I guess
Well,
I can hear it.
You're bad at this.
I'll hear it in post.
Dressage.
Dressage. Okay, next one. Synchronized boxing.
That's not a sport.
Yeah, that one is not a real one. I made that up. My dad made jokes about it. Steeplechase.
Yes, it is. It
All right.
is.
Steeple, you got that one right. You get that
What's
one
a
right.
steeple?
You look inside and see all the people.
Yeah, it's when they walk really fast. And I think steeplechase. I think it's the 1,000 meter or 1,000, 500. I don't remember, but
This is
steeplechase.
This is the thing about the Olympics that fucking pisses me off. And I'm not going to get you in any trouble, I know. But they try to cancel wrestling. Like, wrestling is like the ultimate athletic sport. And they try to cancel that because it doesn't bring enough ratings. But yet steeplechase and dressage are sporting events in the Olympics.
Oh, but wait, Terry. Now we're going to find out if this next sport is, in fact, in the Olympics, canoe slalom.
Yeah, it is.
Canoe slalom is a real sport.
Canoe slalom sounds like a beer game, like at a house party. You know, you get in a canoe
you
and
would do at your bachelor party, I guess.
that's it. Yeah.
What about, okay, I got two left. Aquatic moguls.
Aquatic moguls. That's not happening.
That is not a real sport. That's a thing I just made up right now. Not a real sport. And finally, air pistol.
Which is like shooting with a pistol, because there's
with an air pistol, like a BB gun.
I know there's something about pistols, but not air pistols.
So you're saying false, not true, not a real sport?
My final answer is false.
It is true. Air pistol has been part of the Olympic program since 1998. It looks stupid.
I mean, I knew there was something about pistols, but I didn't know it was air pistol.
Imagine a guy knows like actually I don't want to say anything, but I am the play-by-play guy for air pistols.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
the guy
shooting
shooting
fun of me.
And to answer the question before, dressage is with horses. It's basically equestrian dancing.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, well, I know there's a
horse
couple of
dance.
equestrian stuff, but I thought dressage was like, with the dogs when they make them go around some
It's
obstacles
basically
and
that,
everything.
but the horse version. Yeah, you're exactly right.
How can you win? How can you be a jockey for a horse that's doing all the work and you get a gold medal? Does the horse get a gold medal?
No, the horse gets made into glue.
It was like the year where Jacques Villeneuve won Athlete of the Year, and I was like, he's not the car. So,
He's
Renaud,
not the car.
thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for letting us waste your time. It was an absolute pleasure. I miss you, man. It was nice talking to you.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. I miss you guys. I miss FPF. I miss flag football. Let's hope we start again soon. I want to play, and man, are we gonna enjoy those games when they're gonna come back?
Oh man, I can't wait.
Take care, guys.
Bye, Renaud. Thanks. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you for inviting me, and take care. We'll see you on the field sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
Renaud, good luck in Tokyo.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.
And we're back.
You know what else is back is right now I'm playing bets on Hot Streak Fantasy. It's unbelievable, man. Honestly, I know we spoke about it in the live and we spoke about it a bunch, but I can't get enough of it. Every time I get the notification, hey, games are starting. Where are you? I'm right here, buddy. I'm right here, logging into Hot Streak Fantasy. So you pick 2 to 3 players. You bet on if they're going to get over. Oh, wow, I won. I won a random bet that I placed the other day. Jokic and Paul George. Oh, remember when I did the live? Bet and
On the show, yeah.
Yeah. And where was it? I gotta find it. It was such a bad bet, and I lost it completely. It was Ben Simmons over under 12.5 points. You know how many he had?
How many?
8.
Oof.
I took over, and then Russell Westbrook over 22.5 points. He had 20. He probably got 37 assists.
Yeah.
But yeah. But anyway, it's the best, man. You can bet $5 to $10.
I will say there's something addictive about you get that notification, you pop up. I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, bastard. I got, and it's like, for me, it's, I watch a lot of the late games, and it's like, my wife's already asleep. Fine. It's my companion for the evening. It's a good time. It's fun. It's that addictive.
I don't even watch the game sometimes. I'm just looking at the score app and I'm seeing, okay, who's on the court right now? Let me just play it quickly. And I end up winning money. I'm up. I love it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You do need to streak responsibly. Don't be like Terry. Watch the games that you're betting on at least.
Exactly.
Streak responsibly.
Streak responsibly.
All right,
with that,
let's get into
rapid fire.
Iced and Glaze. Avram Glazer, who's the owner of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Manchester United, was followed by a reporter and asked to answer to Man U fans. Here's the clip.
Do you have anything to say to Manchester United fans, Mr. Glazer? Is it time to sell the club, Mr. Glazer? Nothing to say at all. Are the fans just customers to you? Is the customer always right, Mr. Glazer? Nothing to say at all to the fans of Manchester United, Mr. Glazer. This is an opportunity for you. An apology, perhaps.
What's he going to say? Does he say anything?
He does not say anything, no.
All right, man.
The fans just customers to you, Mr. Glazer.
The thing is about this guy is that him and his billionaire buddies, is that they only care about the bottom dollar, and that's what you have to understand. You have to understand is that they only care about the bottom dollar.
But he's the owner of a business. That's what they do.
Yeah,
like,
I
don't
get
know
it.
why this is shocking. England's acting like they don't have corporations there. It's the strangest thing. Like, I get it. I know there's it's a small island with like 100 soccer teams crammed into it, and I know how passionate they are. It's awesome. That said, like, you have to know that fans always care more about the team than the owners. That's always the case.
Exactly. And the thing is that I didn't see any Manchester United fans protesting when they thought they won the league in January. So it was like Manchester United fans like, oh no, we're good. We're gonna win the division, so it's fine. Nobody's protesting about anything. And now all of a sudden they're not gonna win. They're like, oh, let's just fucking go protest. Manchester United fans can suck my ass, including Alex the intern.
Next.
Well said.
Family Jewels. On the Pat McAfee show, McAfee described the situation where Tom Brady suggested Julian Edelman may not actually be retired.
Julian Edelman in the crowd that was potentially listening or in the room in the group chat, he said, Julian's not retiring. He was just too scared to tell Bill. And then Tom goes, I've been there. Yeah. You know, and Julian's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Julian basically the entire time was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And he was like, I guess I'll talk to Kevin Hart. Everybody else was like, yeah. So it's Tom Brady, Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg, Michael Strahan, Kay Adams, Deion Sanders, and Julian Edelman down there at the bottom. And I do believe the way this particular conversation was going was it was a 6-on-1 as well. It was hey, Julian, you're just going to do exactly what Gronk did. You're going back down to Tampa. What are we even talking about? The injury is cool. Gronk had the same thing, and then he did a CBD press conference. He came back to life again. And Tom Brady even chimes in and goes, nah, he's just scared to tell Bill he's going to come down to Tampa or whatever. If Julian does that, okay, after the Foxborough Forever shirts.
Oh, man.
Do you think the New England Patriots fans will hate him forever? That's what people think. If he doesn't go and join Tampa, I think he's an idiot. Like, if he feels good, if his knee feels good and he feels healthy, he knows that offense. Him and Tom make magic together for whatever reason. Gronk's down there, another weapon to that offense. He wouldn't have to play. Wouldn't need him for 40 snaps a game, 30 snaps a game with everybody else. Just need you, third down, red zone, whenever Julian Edelman really makes his money. Like, let's go ahead and do that. That makes sense to us. He did not say no to it last night, I don't think. And Tom Brady's not pressing him publicly if Tom Brady thinks there's no chance of him coming back, right? Tom would be in that moment, you would think, a supportive friend, like, no, his knee, we wish Julian could come back. He's happy. Yeah, but instead he was like, nah, he's fucking, yeah, he's coming back. He's coming. We are going to get him down. If Mike Greenberg, BA, and Light in this beautiful city of Tampa Bay figure out how to get Julian Edelman on that team where he can only play however many games he has to play that matter, which they can do with that team. Obviously, it's Tom Brady, by the way. That's what Tom Brady, and that's why it's
what do we do with Scotty Miller?
Julian said, get me the fuck out of here. I'll go play with Tom Brady. That's what everybody's going to say. As a Patriots fan, that has to be heartbreaking to hear.
I mean, Foxborough forever. He can kiss the Hall of Fame goodbye. I'm not fucking pushing that anymore. But even if he is playing 6 games, him telling Scotty Miller, like, hey, by the way, this is what Brady likes. When you're doing this, do this. Like, him as just even in a teaching role, I feel like benefits the
Why
Bucs.
is Julian Edelman so good, DB?
Savvy. He's tough as shit with that ball in his hands. Good after the catch, and always kind of got to the right spot.
Is that Darius Butler?
I think
I
so.
couldn't tell. I believe it was.
What do we do with Scotty Miller then? I feel bad.
I love
for all these
only
guys.
replacing the wide receiver, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
well, it's because he's not replacing Mike Evans. He's not replacing Antonio Brown. He's going to replace Scotty Miller.
Well, I think that what they're saying is he's not a guy who would play every down. Like, he'd be a guy like sort of quote unquote beneath Scotty Miller on the depth chart, but just playing less, like playing in specific packages, kind of thing.
I don't think Julian Edelman's coming out of retirement. I heard him on Part of My Take, and he seems like he's very comfortable with this decision.
What this reminds me of, though, I don't even think it's fully serious, but this reminds me of, I have a friend who got an awesome, well, it's a terrible job, but they pay him by like they fill up a wheelbarrow full of cash and they just drop it in his living room every week. That's how much he gets paid. He got to move to San Diego. He lives on the beach.
Oh,
and
I love San Diego.
He basically said, he's always like, come over, come see, like, and all he wants to do is like hang out with his friends to show off how awesome his life is. That's what Tom Brady is like. It's like, listen, man, I know that even when it's sunny, it's kind of cloudy in New England. So come to Tampa, where even when it's cloudy, it's sunny. It's a good time. It's fun. Me and Gronk, we're gonna party. Let's do it. We're even allowed to drink here.
We can even go to a restaurant here.
We're allowed to be in public. We're allowed to tweet.
Yeah.
We're allowed to do basic shit that humans do.
I love it. But I don't know. If I were the Bucks, I wouldn't do it. Fuck it.
Next, flip-flop. Here's the LA Times' Bill Plaschke's take on LeBron flip-flopping on the inclusion of the play-in round.
Now, we also have a quote from LeBron last year, sounding very excited about other teams when they had a chance to compete for the play-in. And we have a quote from LeBron in 2018 when the idea was first brought up, and he said, "This is whack. It's corny." So he's been all over the place here. Bill Plaschke, I turn to you. Is LeBron wrong here?
No, LeBron is right, and he was right last year about the pandemic. It's a different situation now. You don't need the season should be able to determine the top 8 seeds. You don't need all these extra games. But the fact that he would even bring this up tells you how worried he is about the Lakers and how worried he should be about the Lakers. It's not that they're worried about losing the play-in game. It's that they're worried about losing the practice time they would get if they weren't in the play-in game. And this team needs practice. They're 1-6 since AD came back. They're 0-2 since LeBron came back. They can't figure out the defense. Kyle Kuzma says they're not connected, and they're not connected, and they need time. And they'll be fine if they get this practice time on the court together. But a play-in game is going to mess that up. And so I don't blame LeBron for being upset. And he's worried. They ought to be worried.
This is where I'm at with LeBron. Is I like LeBron. I think he's fantastic. I think he's one of the best players of all time, if not the best. I also think he's probably sometimes he can sound like the biggest fucking baby on earth, and that's what's happening right now. He's a baby because his team is shit. He's like, why should we have to play? Where last year, the same situation. I don't care. Bill Plaschke can suck my ass. I don't think that the situation is any different than what it is from last year. It's a shortened season. There's still bubbles. Like it's technically bubbles, but I don't think that this is what the league decided. You fucking suck it up. This is the league that you play for. You suck it up, you play. This is the situation. Because last year, if you were in that same situation, you would have been complaining because you would have wanted to make the playoffs. He's sounding entitled and he's a fucking baby, but I like him.
Mark Cuban made the same point after saying it was a great idea last year as well. What I'm noticing, Terry, is that the teams that had a long run in the NBA last season with the shortened off season are struggling this season because of injury. We've seen Jimmy Butler miss a lot of time. We've seen LeBron get hurt, who never gets hurt. We've seen AD be hurt. We've seen these teams struggling. And what it is with LeBron and these opinions, I kind of feel like he's just always trying to be too accessible. He always wants a quote. He's always there. And like, as a guy who talks all the time, this guy, I contradict myself all the time. But guess who's not LeBron? This guy. So when I do it, it doesn't matter. It's expected. That's the thing that happens. Like when you're talking all the time, you're going to contradict yourself. You're going to make mistakes. I just think that, I know you have your obligations. Maybe take a bit of a nod from Kawhi in this last part of your NBA stardom.
Hot streak break. I just won $25. I took Julius Randle over 0.5 points. And what's Tatum's first name?
Jason
Tatum. I was going to say Jamal. Jason Tatum, 0.5 points. I just won $25 on Hot Streak Fantasy app. Go get it now. So that I agree with you, Peace. I absolutely agree with you. Is that he's whatever. Okay, LeBron James, he's always the guy that people go to for a soundbite. So he's going to contradict himself. It's impossible that he's not going to contradict himself. If I've contradicted myself a million times, and I'm me, I'm nobody. You know what I mean? LeBron James, there's always a microphone in his face. So whatever he's thinking in the moment, he's going to say. And in the moment, he's like, fuck, I don't want to have to play a play-in game. Whoever came up with that idea is a fucking idiot. And maybe it makes him like the most real guy of all time. Like, it actually makes him more
in
human.
that way, yeah, because he makes mistakes like the rest of us. Yeah,
it makes him more human. I get that, and I can respect LeBron for that. But I think he's also a very entitled baby sometimes.
All right,
it's reality.
Next, you've Stotts to be kidding me. While we discuss the rumors that Terry Stotts may be coaching his last few games for the Portland Trail Blazers and may be replaced by Jason Kidd, let's remind ourselves of the time that someone trusted Dame Time so well they pointed to their watch while he took a shot.
Yeah.
Wait, who's that?
It's a fan. It's a fan. As Dame's hitting the game winner, she's pointing to her watch because it's Dame time. It's awesome. It's a great picture. I kind of feel though, looking at this, that I don't see a world of difference between Terry Stotts and Jason Kidd, other than the fact that Jason Kidd was one of the top 5 point guards of all time. But as a coach, he is Terry Stotts. He's a guy who can take a very good team or a decent team and make them one notch below that. He can make a very good team good, and he can make a good team decent. That's what Jason Kidd is, and that's what Terry Stotts is.
I mean, the thing about basketball
done as a head coach,
nothing.
Other than be okay.
That's the thing. Nothing. The thing about basketball coaches is that they're all interchangeable. Like, who's going to win Coach of the Year this year? Doc Rivers or Thibodeau? Tibbs is going to win Coach of the Year this year.
You say that, but there's a reason. There's a reason why Eric Spoelstra has got he's taken, was it 6 teams to the finals in 9 years, and only 4 of them had LeBron.
Oh no, I'm not saying all coaches. Eric Spoelstra is
there's a middle tier of coaches that are absolutely replaceable. I know what you mean.
Oh, 100%, yeah. And look at Thibodeau's going to win Coach of the Year, and he's part of that middle tier. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of the way it is in the NBA. And you can put anybody in there. And Jason Kidd, all they need, because the basketball is such a player-driven league, that all you need is a guy just to organize the rest of the roster. That's all you need. Like, Frank Vogel is perfect at that. Like, he's the best coach at doing that, and he's part of that middle pack. He's not a great.
You can be out coached though. Like,
I agree.
There's a lot of adjustments that need to be made in games. There's a lot of
series,
like defensively rotations.
I'm not saying it doesn't require, like, you don't have to be a good coach to be successful. I'm saying is that if there's the middle pack, they're all interchangeable. All, like, let's say you take 15 of them in the middle, you can put them on a rotation every year, change teams, and nothing will change.
Yeah.
Are we done with Dame time? Can we move on to the next one?
Big Mac.
All right. Big Mac. According to Michael Lombardi of The Athletic and the Daily Coach, the New Orleans Saints wanted to trade up to draft Mac Jones ahead of the Patriots, but couldn't find anyone to trade with.
That would have been a nice QB battle. Mac Jones versus Taysom Hill. That would have been something I would have watched. That would have been a Hard Knocks I would love to have watched.
So I think I'm about to be wrong on Mac Jones. I was very much looking at Mac Jones like, he looks good. He looks fine. Like, he looks like one of those guys who's going to play for a long time. He'll be a starter for about half of that time. That's just what I thought. I hope not. I hope the kid's great. I honestly, I hope for anybody to be great at what they do, especially if they're not in my division. Now he is in my division, so I guess I don't hope it. But the fact that 2 guys who I think have probably a better handle on this than most guys, Bill Belichick and Sean Payton, both want to trade. Well, one drafted him and one wants to trade up for him. I think I'm wrong. And now I'm really scared that the Patriots are going to win the next 10 divisions again.
They probably will win the next 10 divisions again because Mac Jones is going to be a good quarterback, and Mac Jones is not going to play this year.
But now Terry, wait. But now Terry said, "Eagle, I need you to weigh in." So Bill Belichick, what's got more power? The positive force of Bill Belichick and Sean Payton, or the Mitch Trubisky force of Terry Tabb?
Oh, that's a good question.
Man, the Mitch Trubisky force is something to be contended with for sure. I'm gonna go with that, but it's tight, man. That's a tough one.
Give Mitch a very good offensive coordinator.
Give him everything, and he's still Mitch Trubisky.
Give Mitch.
Don't worry about it, Terry. I had an article out this week about the many draft picks I got wrong. One of them was Chicago Bears quarterback Cade McNown that I thought was going to be excellent. So don't worry, we all get him wrong.
Mitch Trubisky's the best quarterback of that draft, baby. Best quarterback of that draft. I'll die on my fucking shield with that.
So
and that includes Bama Holmes and Deshaun Watson. He go fuck everybody.
All right, cool.
And our last one for today, Red Ring of Death. Bill and Melinda Gates are calling it quits after, was it 29 years, 25 years? It's a long time. And we have a shout out to Rory Petzer, who captured the final moment in this particular little clip. Listen closely.
Touching final words.
It's amazing. The internet is undefeated. Why now? He's in the middle of this whole vaccine thing and plastic food and all that stuff. Why not? Why? Like, what did she decide to do? Like,
someone hit up his DMs, probably. I don't know.
I think it was the opposite. I think it's like now that she's got that 5G flowing through her veins, he can track her, and he's like, "Well, listen, I can still spy on my ex. Plus, now I'm loaded. I'm still loaded. I'm half as loaded because we didn't get a prenup, but at least I can get out there. I can get onto Tinder and see what's out there for me."
You think he offered a prenup in the middle? Like, they got married really early, right? They got married in like college and shit. You think he offered her a prenup like when he made his first million?
They got married in 1994, way after he had already started Microsoft. I actually
I thought they knew each other in college.
They might have known each other, but they only got married in 94.
Oh, okay. I could be wrong.
Eagle, I made the mistake of telling my wife, like, could you believe that he didn't get her to sign a prenup? And she's like, well, what about Hot Sauce Sports? What if you guys started making a lot of money? And I was like, it's different. So, honestly, it's just he wants to.
I'll pay you cash, please. So no paper trail.
Thank you, much appreciated. Much appreciated. He's been with one woman for so long. He wants to see some other Xboxes.
So I don't know if you guys know this. The Xbox. You know why it's called the Xbox?
It's named after. Don't say it's named after Melinda Gates, please.
Nope. No.
Okay.
So, you guys ever remember playing games on your computer and you had to install a library called DirectX, and it was like version 7, 8, 9, 10? So that was the Microsoft video encoder technology that they had. Okay, it's the tools they used for rendering stuff. So to play games on PC, you needed to have that. So when they were building this game console, their internal name for it was the DirectX box, because they didn't have an actual name for this damn thing, but it was literally that. It was this big fucking square that they were working on, which is just basically a PC, right? It was like a PC using their software in a box. And so the marketing guys were like, why don't we just fucking call it an Xbox for? Like, just cut the direct out of it, just Xbox.
Nerd. Yeah, basically. Yeah. All I'm thinking is Melinda Gates. Listen, we all know the women always settle, right? They're always the more attractive of us. So she's gonna go out there. She's gonna get hers. So good on her. Happy for her. If this is what leads to them finding happiness, good on them. Terry, thank you.
Tinfoil hat time on this one.
Go ahead.
Melinda Gates, Mackenzie Scott, they get together. They form Amazon and Microsoft 2.0, whatever name it's gonna be, Microzon or something, or Microsoft. Yeah,
she's still on the board, so she's gonna stay on. So she has a non-compete. So there goes your idea, Eagle nerd.
What if they form a company though, and they take a shot at the manhoods of Bezos and Gates and call the company Microsoft? Anyway, that's it for today's show.
Guaranteed Bill Gates has a Microsoft. 100%.
100%. Well, I mean, look, he named his company that, right? So it is what it is. Thank you to Renaud St-Laurent. He was awesome. I hope he knows that this is how the episode he was on ended. It ended with Bill Gates' small and soft penis. Eagle, thank you for your penis in this show. You really helped pull it through. And thank you all, of course, for letting me be myself. But also subscribe, and I'll thank you more. And like us, and give us money. Bye. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.